it's Kristen Stuppy. I am coming to you on February 5th of 2021. I've got my Chiefs gear on. I'm going to take it off here in just a second because I want to not have my voice jarbled a little bit online. I do wear my mask every day at the office. Typically, I have an N95 in addition to a surgical mask on top. Today, I have just a surgical mask and my Chiefs mask. And one of the reasons I have that is because I wanted to talk. One of the more common questions I'm getting these days is if kids should be wearing two masks, because it's been in the news that two masks do better than one. And one of my biggest points with that is the most important thing is that the mask fits properly. If the mask is too loose and keeps dropping down, then kids are more likely to keep pulling it up. And when you pull it up from the center, which is where even adults oftentimes will pull it up, it is not as safe. It is always safest to handle masks by the earpieces and to apply here. If it needs to be adjusted, adjust from the sides rather than the top. If it slips down too often, then it can be adjusted. My mask here has little adjustable earpieces. Other masks do different things. I actually have one that has straps that are just sewn on and it's too big. I am too lazy to figure out how to either tie it or fix it. So I wear it with a lanyard that I forgot to bring today. But the lanyard's nice. It attaches to the earpieces, and then I can get the lanyard tighter in the back. So that allows me to have the ability to tighten it or loosen it regardless of what mask I'm wearing. So things like that can actually help a lot to make sure the mask is comfortable and fits properly, because the more we touch our mask, the more likely we will contaminate our fingers and then touch things, or contaminate our mask and then breathe it right in. So I've seen a lot of people on social media pages making fun of drivers who are in their car alone and driving with their mask on. And I will say I'm often one of those drivers. I just leave my mask on. I put it on at home because I can wash my hands first, put the mask on, and then drive wherever I'm going. If I'm going to the grocery store, then stopping somewhere else. I don't go a lot of places. But oftentimes, like when I'm doing hospital rounds, like this morning between hospitals, I will keep my mask on, because if I take it off and put it in the seat of my car, who knows how dirty it's going to get there. You can put like a paper bag or a bucket or something in your car to have it rest so that it doesn't touch wherever all the other germs have been. But you really don't want it laying around and then just picking it up and putting it back on your face. I know a lot of people will just put it in their coat pocket. And really, that's not a clean place. You're putting it back on your face. The whole purpose of the mask is to keep the germs away from your face and your lungs. So if you can keep it clean, that would be ideal. So back to the two mask thing. Two masks do work better than one mask because you've got more layers. You can also have a 2 or 3 ply mask. A lot of masks will have an insert for any kind of disposable, I can't think of the word. Oh my goodness. How can I not think of the word? Anyway, a thing in there. You could put a piece of a paper towel or another type of barrier. But the more layers, the more effective it's going to be. If kids will wear two masks, then fantastic. I think it is great that they have an additional layer. We do know that there's this more contagious virus strain out there. I have heard that it's in Kansas. I don't know how much it's in Kansas. I don't think most of our labs that are testing for COVID test the type of COVID exactly that it is. So we're not going to know if it's that B11 whatever strain or if it's just another strain. But it is very contagious. It doesn't, I don't think, seem to be more dangerous in the sense that it doesn't make people more sick, but it does seem to spread more easily. So whatever you can do to avoid catching it is a good thing. Hint, hint, Kansas City, we got the Super Bowl coming. We're all excited about it. But this is not the year to celebrate with all your friends at the bars or the restaurants or your friend's house or anything. This is a great year to celebrate with your family that you live with anyway, in your home, on the TV, nice and warm, cheering your Chiefs on. That way, when you go back to work and school in the next few weeks, we don't have super spreaders. I know of one recently school that had to shut down their one of their classes because there were a significant number of kids in that school that all got sick at a birthday party. Um, and so things like that happen, and we don't want to shut down our schools. We don't want to have to stay home from work for 2 or more weeks because this person was exposed, so has to be quarantined. And then you find out this day that, oh, they test positive. So now all the other family that's been around them have to quarantine for those days. It's not fun to have to quarantine. Families realize very quickly how long that quarantine becomes when it hits multiple people in the family at different times. So I highly encourage staying home, celebrating the Chiefs at your own home. If you do choose to visit with other people, try to keep masks on as much as possible. Keep the fan running, maybe open windows a little bit so that the air can circulate. Um, and try not to drink alcohol. I know that's a big thing with football games, but for those of you who are of age and are legally able to drink alcohol safely, hopefully, know that when you are drinking, you're more likely to yell, you're more likely to take your mask off, wear it inappropriately, and that just shares the germs more. And remember that just because you're good friends does not mean that one of you isn't sick. And how horrible it would be for the next day to find out that you hung out with people who were contagious and now all of you have to quarantine. And how worse would it even be if you find out that one of you gets significantly sick, ends up in the hospital, or dies. So it's just not worth it. We know how COVID spreads now. We know how to prevent it. We can do this, guys. We really can. We can wear our masks. We can stay home as much as possible. We still need to go to school. We need to go to work. We need to go to the grocery store, or at least we need to get food. I guess you can order in. But we just need to be cautious. We've got the vaccine out, and that's going to be my next point about the vaccine. Nearly everyone in my office has had both doses of the vaccine, either the Pfizer or the Moderna. Um, Most of us have done really well with it. The people who had COVID previously did seem to have a little bit more side effects after the first dose. The people who had not had COVID previously more likely had side effects with the second dose. And that makes sense. Once your body has recognized, hey, we're seeing this spike protein, and whether it's from the real virus or the vaccine, if it's seen it before, it will hit it harder the second time around. So it makes sense that we had more side effects the second time around. I know that the night I got it on a Friday after work. That night, I did not sleep very well. I woke up with some body aches. I don't think I ever had a fever. I tried really hard not to take any medicine because I didn't want my body's immune system to be suppressed at all. I wanted the vaccine effectiveness to be the best it could be. If I felt much worse, I was about ready to take something, but I never had to. I didn't sleep well because of the aches and pains. So the next day I was really tired. I actually took a nap, which is not common for me to do. And then I felt better. Right around 24 hours, I was great and I felt good. My arm was a little bit sore to touch maybe for another day or so, but definitely worth it. And I do think that it's a safe and effective vaccine. People have asked a lot if they should hold out for one vaccine over another, and I would say no. If you have the opportunity to get Pfizer, Moderna, or when Johnson & Johnson comes out, or any of the other ones that are coming out, whatever you can get, if they're approved to be safe to use, they should be effective and better than nothing. And if we all hold out for one particular brand, then it's just going to be more of a mess than it already is. Some people are concerned about the lesser apparent Johnson & Johnson effectiveness. And what I will say with that is it's 66% effective in preventing moderate to severe disease. It is 100% effective at preventing death, from what I understand. And it also, even though the vaccine effectiveness for the Moderna and the Johnson & Johnson were like 94, 95%, and the Johnson & Johnson doesn't sound as good then when you think of 66%. But if you consider that the mRNA vaccines were trialed before this new strain came out, and the Johnson & Johnson was in trials with this new strain that is more contagious, it makes sense. And maybe the numbers are more comparable. We do not know. That data is not available, but it is still highly effective at preventing significant disease. So whatever you can get. And the nicest thing with the Johnson & Johnson is it's only one dose, so we can vaccinate twice as many people. and it doesn't have to have the extreme refrigeration and things that the other vaccines do. So it should be easier to get to local pharmacies, local communities, and get it out into arms. That's what we really need. A lot of parents have asked me about kids. Currently, one of the vaccines, the Pfizer, is approved for 16 and up. I do have some 16-year-old patients that are working in nursing homes or other places that were considered high risk, so they have been able to get vaccinated. Um, Younger teens will have to wait, much like the rest of everybody who has to wait until their time comes up. They are generally of low risk, so their risk groups are going to be out anyway. If you really want your kids to help with science, you can try to sign them up for a study. Our website, pediatricpartnerskc.com, has on its news page a link to the Children's Mercy Interest sign up. It does not guarantee that you will get your kids into a study, but basically they're collecting information of people who would want to be studied. So you can sign your kids up there, and then they will let you know if they are qualifying for a study. It does not guarantee that you will get in, and it doesn't solidify that you have to. Once you find out if you are approved for the study, you will still get to turn it down if it's not meeting your approval as a parent. So if you think that you might want to do it, I highly recommend signing up for the interest list, basically. So that is on our website news page. If you go to pediatricpartnerskc.com, click on the news button. It's the top news story right now. Other than that, when kids can get it, do I think it will be safe? Yes, I think that we know that it's safe and effective for adults. We have to go through the science of it to show that it's safe and effective for the kids. But if it gets approval, that means that it meets those criteria. So when it is available for kids, I do think that it is a great thing to get everybody in the family vaccinated when they're ready. I don't think we should ever skip line. I think we need to do what the recommendations are. So for now, it's like people over 65, high risk workers. Hopefully, we can start getting more teachers vaccinated. Right now, it's just a holdup of getting the vaccine available. Other than that, masks. Even though I have had my vaccine, both doses, more than 2 weeks longer ago, I am still wearing masks when I'm out in public. I am still wearing masks at work and eye covering when I'm at work because nothing is 100%. And I also want to model. I want to show that it is okay to wear a mask. I have asthma and it's still okay to wear a mask. There are very few contraindications to a mask, and we've been doing it almost a year now. It is something that everybody can learn to do. We just need to learn how to do it safely, responsibly, and every time. So I think that was all. I'm gonna check my phone real quick because I had a list of things I wanted to talk about. Oh, our walk-in. That is one more thing just for our patients. We are, now that all of our staff have had the opportunity to be vaccinated, and we've known so much about masks, we find that our patients are pretty good about wearing masks. And I do encourage you, as long as you are in a public building, keep your mask on. I know I have it off now because I'm in a room by myself, and this room is not going to be used for quite a while because lunch is next. And so this room will have time to air out. But I wear my mask at all times at work, except for when I am in a room like this or and eating. And we all eat separately now for the most part as well. But I encourage you, when you do come to our office, if you are in a room, even just with your kid, keep your mask on, please. That's for everybody's protection because you don't know if somebody else had their mask off, or we don't want to walk into the room. If you do have COVID and you're breathing it out into the air, it's hanging out in there while we are then talking to you when we walk in. It doesn't magically go away when you put your mask on. So please use your mask when you're at work, when you're at school, when you're in any public area. That is what we know works, and that is very effective. So until everyone can get vaccinated, please, please, please wear your mask. If you choose to celebrate this weekend, please, please, please be cautious. Use precautions with masks, open windows, fans, whatever you can do to limit the spread of COVID, because we don't want to see another surge from Superbowl parties like we did after Christmas and New Year's. Because we can do this, guys. We are so close to getting this. And the virus can't mutate if we don't spread it. So let's keep it from mutating to more significant strains. I cannot see any questions, but I also cannot see the page from where I am here. So I'm going to pull up the page and see if I can see it. I do not see any questions here, but I'm also just looking at my phone. So if there are questions, please post them below and I'll be happy to answer them in the comments. Thanks and have a great day. Hopefully Kansas City can celebrate a ton this week, but very safely. All right. Thank you guys.